Hello, I'm Doom District, and I'm reviewing my MOC Seismodias, Toe of Earth, version 2. Character-wise, this guy was the leader of the Toe Proxima before they were disbanded and reformed. He did not rejoin them when they reformed. He's just on his own. Basically, half the team dies, and he feels real bad about it, like he failed, and kind of just goes off on his own and starts hacking and slashing Makutas. And that's how he spends a lot of his time. He's meant to be this kind of samurai looking swordsman kind of guy, and I think I accomplished that pretty well with his look and his armoring and everything. He is the foremost swordsman in my little story. It's not much of a story, but it's enough to make them not just feel like toys that I'm building or whatever. I like them to have at least some like character and like context to them. Otherwise, I feel like I'm not really making much. I don't know. It's hard to get motivated to make plastic action figures if they don't have something more to them. At least for me personally. But enough of that. I'll get into the actual build of the guy. Much like Herculon, he is a lot more substantial than the other Toa, or a lot of the other Toa I have built. And also, much like Herculon, the only non-custom thing on him, for the most part, pretty much, are his arms. So I'll start with them. They're Nike arms. Through and through. They're got these black and Nike limbs with these Knight's Kingdom pieces on the forearms. He's got posable hands and fingers. So only claws on this one hand. I don't really know why. I think I just didn't have the spike pieces to give him many claws, but it's not that big a deal. I mostly just have him clenching a fist anyway, and the other one's holding a sword, so there's not really much point in giving him the claws. They're not symmetrical, not just because of the claws. They both have this Anika armor piece on the front. His right arm is a little more free-moving. It has this scroll armor on the back. Since it's his sword arm, it's supposed to be more agile, like give him more posability with that. The left arm, so his non-sword arm, still has this same Anika piece on the front, but on the back, you'll notice he has a big gear and a black piston going to it. And the reasoning for that is that without this, he can't really hold this giant ass sword up. He would just kind of flop over. But with the piston, he's able to hold it all the way out. Like, he can literally hold it completely out. Like, his arm is strong enough to hold it, but his body is built around, you can see it in there, this Hordika neck in here. So if he didn't have this piston on the side, then he would just flop over to the right. And it's the same with this this gear up here. It's not like a gear that keeps him in place, but it just adds more weight over to this side of his body to kind of balance out this just absolutely massive sword that he holds. Because I really wanted him to have the ability to hold this sword in basically any way that he wants, right? Or that I want him to. If he's supposed to be the best swordsman, right, then it seems a little goofy or not very becoming of him to not be able to hold his sword in most positions. Like, he needs to be able to pose in whatever kind of position I want the sword to be in. So a lot of effort into the build went into making it able to hold the sword. The gearing and the piston here, it does inhibit his posability on this arm a little bit, but it's not so bad. Like, honestly, like, you can't move it forward a whole lot since it's on this back here. It can only move forward so much, but I don't think it's too bad anyway. I mean, he's mostly a sword guy, so he's not like fighting with his fist that much, or I guess he is, but mostly just the sword. For his legs, they are heavily based off Maxilos's legs. Maxilos is my like absolute favorite Bionicle set. And I just thought it would make a good basis for this guy's legs. He's supposed to be big and intimidating, and Maxilos is like my favorite Titan and set in general. So I figured this would be good as like a base to start from. They're entirely black, unlike Maxilos. Obviously, he's like gray and red, but like it's basically the same design. It's filled out a little bit more, so it has these like Technic bits going through this hole, like this gap in the Mata foot. And I also have this ball joint going through the socket. It's not like snapped into the socket. It's got this like axle going through it. So you can spin it. There's no point in doing that, but you could do it. I don't remember if the original design has these Borak eyes on the side or if that's something I did. I just don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, that's the feet. They're bulked out a little bit. Like they have extra bits of Technic here to just kind of bulk them out. And then his lower legs, like shins, they're the same piece. They're this Vaki piece, which is the same that Maxilos used, except it just has an extra bit of armor. And this Metru foot here, being in the front, it looks a little bit, just helps bulk him out a little bit and not be just exactly like Maxilos, I guess. To get to his upper legs is another way he differs from Maxilos himself. The original Maxilos leg has those Titan joint pieces. He doesn't use these. Seismodias does not use these. He has regular hand connectors and Technic beams, Technic lift arms to make up his legs. These big, I always call them like D. I always call them like D pieces, but they're not really shaped like that. They're an L piece with a curve. But that's how that's how his upper legs are assembled. Maybe he wouldn't actually. Well, that's annoying. Maybe he doesn't actually need the pistons to like support himself. But aesthetically, I just think that's a cool Bionicle thing to have, is the pistons on the back here. So I keep him on there, and he's a little bit heavy, so he probably does, but I'm not really certain. I might be able to get rid of them, but no, I won't. I like how they look. They don't inhibit his posability, just the ease of it. You know, he can do like a full 90 here. He's just bulky, so it's kind of annoying to do. On the sides, I like this armoring on the side with the Anika foot and this black Metru chest armor. I like the way it rests here. So like this is the bottom of the foot, or like the back of the foot, and it sits really nice here. I should have used a gray axle with a stopper. Now that I'm like looking at this, I don't know why I used like a tan one. I don't know. See, the other side is gray, so I don't know why. I don't know why I used this tan piece instead of a gray one, but oh well. I just noticed it, so it's not even that big a deal, I don't think. Getting to his body now, like his like torso and waist proper, he's got this big like armor piece. I thought it would help go with the samurai look of him. I think it gets the job done. If you look, I'll get to his waist here. It's connected to this hand connector here out to this piston, and this hand connector is slotted in here onto this Hordika neck, which is like the crux of the torso and everything, along with just some spike detail. His body also uses these big Technic lift arms, but in purple. I didn't realize as I was building it, because I was building him in kind of dim lighting, that the spikes on this, the purple on this spike and the purple on this Knight's Kingdom piece and the purple on these lift arms are not all the same purple. I thought that they all were, because the spikes and the lift arms, as far as I know, both came out in like Hero Factory sets. Obviously, in this brighter lighting, they're not even close to the same color or being the same purple, but they're... well, I like the purple highlights, and I don't want to get rid of these spikes, so I'm keeping them, at least for the time being. He has a Nika body on the back of his body, but it's mostly just to cover things up. He's not actually built around that. It's all custom. It just kind of... You can tell on the back here, there's like a spare ball joint right here. This is a ball joint from the Nika torso. This is the actual point. So he's about a ball joint wider on both ends than what an actual Nika torso would be. Then on the front, he's got this design with these two Metro chest pieces going in, and then this like Borak plate, like armor plate here. It's kind of, it wobbles because of how it's connected. It's only connected with this one pin. It's kind of held in place a little bit here, but the way that these are connected and held in place, I can't get a pin through both. So it wobbles a little bit. You just got to be careful with it in pictures, just so that you're not like, you don't take a picture and it's like cocked sideways or something. He's got these big Stronius shoulder armor pieces. I think that looks cool. Again, this big giant gear up here is for the weight, so that he's more balanced to his left side when he's holding the sword. On the back, he's got this, I think this is also a Viscerac piece. It's like blade piece, kind of like a collar. Like, I feel like it goes good with his armoring. And then this is the only piece of gunmetal he has on him, but since it's on the back, I don't feel like it matters all that much. He's got some like gray and silver randomly, so I feel like the gunmetal's not that big of a deal. I don't know why this big piece is so screwed up. Like, it's highly scratched and scraped and damaged. I don't think I did this. I did a lot of modifying pieces as a kid. I don't think this was one of them. I don't remember why or how I would have done such a thing. I think this just came like this in like a bulk eBay lot of pieces, maybe. I don't remember for sure. It doesn't look that bad, and it's on the back, so who cares? I don't really. He has the Krakon, the Mask of Shadows. He does use the shadow powers. That's how it kind of helps him fight. The Makuta with that. Lastly, I'll talk about his sword. The way he's been holding it, you've only really been able to see it from the inside side of the blade, but it actually has... It looks better from this side because it has this Hero Factory plate piece covering up some of the technic of it. It's quite a large sword. Like, it uses these two like ski blade pieces, and then I think this is Tahu Nuva's sword piece, and they all form one kind of shape to the blade, and he's pretty good with posing that. I like this sword quite a lot, although I wish it looked better from this side. Like, I don't know, I feel like it looks better from the outside, but if I put another of these plates, it just, to me personally, it just looks way too thick. It looks weird from this angle, which, I mean, it's not, maybe not that big of a deal, but for me it is. Like, it bothers me a lot that it will do that, that it looks that thick. So it just doesn't look sword enough to me. Yeah, that's mostly been the review. I'll get them in one good pose here to leave them off with. If you like seeing these videos, if you've liked these mock reviews and my mock so far, go ahead and like the video or something like that. His leg had to be pushed together. Sometimes his connections are a little tight, so they kind of push each other apart. But yeah, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of these mock reviews. He is in a good fighting dynamic pose. Get to see him holding the sword out. But yeah, if you want to see more reviews, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Peace out.